Hello, you beautiful souls. Okay, I'm going to make some people angry, or at least a little uncomfortable. But if you are the oldest daughter who is deconstructing and healing from this religious patriarchy that caused you pain, this video is for you. So if you've been following me, you know that I am writing a book and I'm coming up on the final parts of that. And what has kind of surprised me is how much of my trauma has come back to the surface and I've had to deal with it. And fortunately for me, I've been doing this work a really long time. So I have the tools and the resources to do that. But one of the things that I think that triggered me this time is because I have really had to balance my life to find the time to remodel the house from the water damage, to taking care of myself and my family, to writing this book. And so the other night I was thinking about all this while I was walking my dog, and this thought came to me about how overly responsible I have been my entire life. I'm talking back to memories when I was 5 and 6 years old, taking care of my younger cousins in some aspect that I felt like I was responsible for them. Now, this is no hate to my mother or the adults in my life. I know that they too were victims of these patriarchal systems that saw women's roles as caretakers. So I, as the oldest child, was being trained and indoctrinated in that role. Not only was I the oldest daughter, I was the oldest granddaughter on one side of my family. So there was a lot of responsibility that comes with that. And that's the role that I was in for years. I was the problem solver. I was the caretaker. I was constantly swooping in to solve problems because that's just what I did and that's what was expected of me. But I remember when it started to shift for me, and it started to shift just as I was deconstructing. And now when I look back, I can see how much of my patriarchal indoctrination into my family and my religion took advantage of my being a willing participant in that patriarchal indoctrination. In other words, I sacrificed myself willingly to just be a part of it, to be viewed as the good daughter, the good granddaughter, and the good Christian. And now I'm convinced that entire systems are built around women's willingness to be in that submissive role, especially in church, where there is so much unpaid labor that goes into the foundation of the church operations. And when I removed that S from my chest and stopped trying to be the superwoman, I had a lot of guilt. And I've had to revisit that decision time and again to make sure, like, yeah, I'm okay with this, because it is okay for me to keep a seat at the table, and it is okay for me to prioritize myself at this time, because my entire life I have been overly responsible and I have put too many people in front of me. And here's the crazy realization is somebody might be hearing this and thinking I am the most selfish person in the world, and I could care less what you think. This message is for those of you who are like me, who was indoctrinated into these highly patriarchal systems. You were an oldest daughter or one of the older women in the family, and you had to submit to that in order to seek approval and to seek love. If that's you, it is okay to give yourself permission to set it aside. And in this season of your life, put yourself first. And so, yes, I am so busy right now, but everything that's on my plate are things that I have chosen to be there. And don't worry, I'm finding balance. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and my mother is still alive, and we have a great relationship. But my seat is at the table. And it is okay for me to take a step back and realize that my season of taking care of my family in those ways where I'm going to rescue and problem solve and be the primary caretaker, and even to extended family, I'm not doing that anymore. I will help to the extent that I can. And of course, I can be compassionate and caring when there are emergency situations. But when it comes to my well-being, that is how I'm reclaiming my life, and that's how I'm living, reclaiming my spirituality, living a spiritually empowered life, not filtered through the narrative of a patriarchal system, whether it's familial or religion, that says this is who I'm supposed to be. Now, somebody needed to hear that today. And if that's you, please celebrate you and go be who you are. I see you.